Alrighty, welcome back. So it is now 30 minutes later, and as I'm kneading the dough, I'm going to talk to you when we finish our conversation about what the difference is between sourdough bread and yeast bread, like the composition. We all know there's a difference in taste. But first, before I go into that, we're going to dump out our dough, which has rested for 30 minutes. We're going to dump it out onto a floured surface. And we're going to save this bowl. Like, I know a lot of people want to use a clean bowl. We're going to save this bowl because what we're going to do is in this bowl, we're going to add some oil and we're going to toss the bread and we're going to let it do its bulk proofing. So, we don't want to dirty up any more dishes than we have to, right? Like, that's the biggest thing. So, dough is on the counter. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on top so that our hands don't stick to it. We can add more flour as needed if it becomes sticky. And then we're just going to start, we're going to do a push and pull here. And then we're going to add our salt here. So we just sprinkle it on top and then we do a push and pull. And again, if this is too much for you, you can find a different way to do it, but this is what we're doing here. We're doing a push and pull. And then we're going to start kneading our dough. And I hear Rob getting up, so he'll be here shortly. So the difference between sourdough and anything made with yeast is sourdough is a natural leavening agent, which means it naturally rises the bread. It takes longer, but it's a natural leavening agent. Yeast, obviously, is a little bit different because it's a quicker rise. So you'll hear people talk about the added benefits of having sourdough as opposed to yeast as far as probiotics. It's really much better for your gut health. But you know, some people just don't like the taste of it. So, and there are things you could do, like with this dough, we added some honey to it to make it a little bit sweeter because most yeast doughs don't have that sweet flavor to it. So, all right, so I'm going to set a 5-minute timer because we need this for 5 minutes. Alexa, set a 5-minute timer. I have quite a few timers going right now. So as I'm working this dough, I'm starting to feel it get a little more tacky. And then when that happens, you'll want to bring in some more flour to the dough because you don't want it to start getting so sticky that it sticks to your hands. And a lot of times what I do is I just wait until it gets to the point where it's that sticky. You're just kneading the dough and you're using the heel of your hand, pushing down and out, and then pulling it back and pushing down and out. And this is activating that gluten. Now, with sourdough, we do stretch and folds because it's a little wetter. So we don't want to try to knead this dough. But for a regular bread that you want to rise, you're always going to knead it. Unless you find a recipe that says that it's a no knead, like sandwich bread or something like that. But this is meant to be more of a fluffy white bread with a crust on the outside. So this is an Italian bread. Rob is Italian-Irish. So we make a lot of Italian foods here. So I'm going to cut for just a minute and then we'll be done with the kneading and then I'll show you what we do next.